Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex with NBC 11 Alive. Team 1-1, born to compete. I got my guy Brooks Austin here with Sports Illustrated. Peep the background again. My guy doing his thing, man. One of the best in the business. And we are talking about players to watch, our high school player watch list. And, I got to bring my guy in. We talking that talk. I got to bring my guy in. Somebody I would like to respect in the industry. I feel like know something just like me with this thing, man. Might be a little better. Who knows, man? All right. Players to watch. Who's first on your list? Who we talking about?
Here we got Jamal Haynes out of Grayson High School. It feels like we might have a recurring theme with Grayson athletes over here on Born to Compete. But, man, wherever you want to play him. You want to play him at slot. You want to play him at running back. He has to play in the slot over there at Grayson because they got this guy by the name of Phil Maffa out there. Pretty darn good running back out there at Grayson High School. So, I mean, wherever you want to play him, it doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that this guy is a yards after catch monster. As soon as he gets the ball, man, he is absolutely dynamite in the open field. 40 range might be anywhere from, in that 4 or 5 range, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's a 4 flat shuttle runner. The short area quickness is off the charts with Jamal Haynes. A little story time for you here, Alex. I went out to watch Grayson play Hillgrove in the very beginning of the high school football season last year. It was a scrimmage game. Quarterbacks are in off-color jerseys, kind of thing like this. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, they got Phil Maffa in the backfield. They got Ryan King over there, another Georgia Tech commit, out on the outside. But they're running their whole offense through this guy wearing number 1, and he's about 5'8", 5'9", however big he is. Doesn't matter. He's thick as can be. I like to say thick with 2 C's. Thicc thick is Jamal Haynes, man.
And last thing I'll say about Jamal, man, one thing you got to play when you're a smaller player, you better have that swag and that dog. And you better have that chip on your shoulder, man. And he got it. When he out there, always look like he got a mean mug on his face. You know what I'm saying? That's how he always looks at it. That's the type of player that I like to see. Now, quarterback at Cherokee that you've been telling me about, AJ Swan, what's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, it's kind of funny we're talking about him. I've actually had this chance to see AJ the last 2 days over there throw with Tony Ballard. And I was talking to Tony. I said, who's that guy? And he said, it's AJ Swan. And I honestly think he's one of the most overlooked prospects at the quarterback position in an extremely loaded 2022 quarterback class here in the state of Georgia. I mean, it goes as deep as can be at the quarterback position. And honestly, he's a lot better athlete than you immediately think when you watch him on tape, especially. This is a 4'6" runner, Alex. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, a bigger athlete, plays basketball over there at Cherokee as well. AJ does all of those things, extremely well coached and technically sound. So, anticipatory thrower too. I'll tell you another little story time with Brooks, if you will. Watching him today, they're running what we call it like a corner comeback, like where you're trying to sell the corner and then sitting it down in that cover 3 zone. And I mean, the ball's out of his hand before the guy's even turning around. An anticipatory thrower is what we call him in the scouting business. This is a guy that does it all well-rounded. And, again, he's going to go a little bit under the radar in that 2022 quarterback class just because there's so many of them. But it's not because he's not talented.
What I like about him, too, man, we talk about the throwing, but just his body in general. He's a thick kid. We talk about thick like with Jamal Haynes. He's a thick kid as well, where he's a kid, in my opinion, if he keeps excelling, he's a kid that you'll see he'll be ready to start day 1 when he goes into college, depending how things work out for him, because his body will be there. Big kid. Now, defensive end down in Hateville, just committed recently, Xavier Carter, the uber athlete at defensive end. We got another one. Tell me about him.
Yeah, whether he's going to play defensive end or outside linebacker, we just don't know yet. He's less than 200 pounds at 6'4", just recently committed to LSU. And I can tell you right now, Alex, they're showing him clips of Clavon Chason in that defense. That's exactly what they're doing now. The only difference is Clavon rolls around at 240 pounds now, and that's why he was a first-round draft pick, an incredible athlete. But, Xavier's got that same kind of twitch, that same kind of burst we talk about coming off the edge. Whether or not he's going to gain that kind of weight, we're talking about 40 pounds at this point. I don't know. Is he going to get up to 225 and look more like a Lorenzo Carter type of football player when he left the University of Georgia? Maybe. He's got the ability, or at least shows the signs and the athletic ability to play in space in college, but he hasn't been asked to do it there at Hateville Charter. He plays a traditional 4-3 defensive end with his hand in the dirt. And honestly, Alex, I was extremely pleased with the play strength. I watched him one clip. He flattened a right tackle with just his hand shot. He put his hands in the guy's chest and just bent him over backwards. This is a kid that loves the swim move, man. He fights well with his hands, especially for a kid like you were just telling us that hadn't really grown up playing defensive end. He's been growing up playing athlete. Hey,
Yeah.
look, these guys are going to continue to roll through. These 6'4", 200-pound athletes that you just don't know what to do with. So you just figure out what they're best at and let them do that. And I think what this guy does best is get after the passer, and that's a required skill nowadays in college football.
Shout out to Hateville Youth Football Program. I know they want to hear that. You know, they got two good ones out there with Xavier Carter and Antonio Martin, who's at Langston Hughes right now, running back really good. All right, man. Cameron Ball, defensive lineman. Me and you both feel what's going on over there. You can tell me
Yeah.
more about him, though. What's your thoughts on him?
Man, they asked this monster to play defensive end at Tri-Cities. I mean, 6'5", 300 pounds. The first note I got on the sheet is holy athlete. I mean, this dude, it doesn't make sense, Alex.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, this is a guy that's flooded with mid-major offers. But I'm telling you right now, if this kid ends up at mid-major, he is going to flat out dominate people for 4 years. And honestly, I love angry football players. I love when I turn on the tape and I see a guy that's playing peed off, if you know what I mean. This is one of those kids. He plays both ways over there at Tri-Cities. Saw him play right tackle, saw him play left tackle, saw him play defensive end, and all at an extremely high level of energy. This is just a guy that when I look at it, I just don't get it. When I look at the tape, I just don't understand how the Power 5 offers aren't rolling through. And honestly, Alex, in the scouting world, we hear all the time that, you know, if you're 6'5", 300 pounds, all you got to do is be able to tie your shoes, walk and chew gum, and you'll get D1 offers. This kid defies all of those myths and all of those theories because he is 6'5". He is 300 pounds. And he moves like a gazelle. I mean, he's an absolute incredible athlete. If this guy doesn't end up in a Power 5 program, I just don't get it. The industry's just failing at this point. I'm serious. I mean, the kid is dominant out there at Tri-Cities. I don't get it right now.
Bo Maskell, cornerback at Thomasville, fantastic player. What's your thoughts on him?
First word, bulldog. I mean, and it's not a double entendre because he plays for the Thomasville Bulldogs. I mean, this dude is an absolute chip on your shoulder type of football player. You can almost see it on tape. The first play on his huddle clips, he literally walks down on a guy that's like 6'2", 6'3", and he's like, "What's up, baby?
Let's go.
I'm a freshman out here, and I'm about to put my paws on you, and I'm gonna carry you step for step." But when I think of small corners, when I think of bulldog mentality, when I think of I don't care how big you are, I'm gonna lock in step for step with you. I think of Brandon Boykin, and Bo Maskell reminds me of that.
What I like about him, you always saw the skill set, right? You know, even though he was smaller at that time coming into his freshman year, you always saw a skill set. And now here's the thing, he's starting to grow. You know, he's from 5'7", so he's about 5'9", 5'10". You know, his junior year, he might be about 5'11". You never know how these things go with kids growing. But if he ends up that 5'10", like where he's almost now, in that 5'11" area, he will be a Power 5 kid because the skill set's too good. His intensity to what he plays with too good. Technique's too good. And I just think that kid, I remember I told his dad a long time ago, because, you know, we were talking about Chad, and Chad obviously deserved all the attention he gets because fantastic quarterback. But I looked at Bo, and I'm watching Bo play, and I said, that kid's going to be special. He said, my baby boy, he said, finally somebody else sees besides me. I was like, I told you. Bo will be special, and you know, there's a reason we're talking about him. Either way, man, is where can we find you on the internet, social media, all that kind of stuff with your microphone in your mouth?
Yeah, my microphone in my mouth. You can check me out at Brooks Austin SI. You know, that whether that be Twitter or Instagram. You know, I did that good thing where we paired them both up together. And you can check out what we're doing over on Dogs Daily on Sports Illustrated. Just type in Dogs Daily, DAWGS Daily.com. You can check out all the things we're doing covering Georgia athletics over there, man. Alex, I greatly appreciate this, man. I look forward to this every single week. I'm in your phone every day, but like, hey, man, when we get back on it? When we get back on it? Because I absolutely love scouting and talking about these kids, man.
Hey, man, like I always say, man, Brooks is one of the best in the industry, doing a fantastic job. Make sure y'all follow him on all the social media accounts. And there it is, man, another week talking about the high school player watch list with my guy Brooks. And Born to Compete, NBC 11 Live, Team 1-1. Make sure you check us out every Friday nights during the season because, as they said, we are the #1 segment in the country. We're mad now. It is what it is. That's just facts. All right, guys. Take care. We're out.